everybody, Ryan here. I'm coming at you with my top 10 films of 2013 video. These are my personal favorites, not necessarily the best films. Like, I'm not gonna say that these are the best films, but these are my personal favorite films of 2013. I was gonna do like a little award ceremony kind of thing, but I really wanted to get this video done and out there because some people were asking me about it, and I didn't really want to go into the whole production of doing like some awards thing. Who knows, I might do it down the road, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you my top 10 films of the year. And like I said, this is my opinion, my personal list. Hope you agree with them. Maybe not. Who knows? We're all entitled to our opinion. Anyways, number 10. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I got 10 of them. Number 10 is The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Now, I was a big fan of the first film, and this film did not let me down at all. It blew me away. It exceeded my expectations. The acting, everything about the writing was completely top-notch, and it was definitely a huge improvement over the first film, which I still loved. But this one hit it out of the ballpark and went into a completely different level. So that's why it's at my number 10 and one of my favorite films of the year. Number 9 is Man of Steel. This is probably the more controversial pick of all my favorite films of the year because not everybody liked this film. I've been a huge Superman fan most of my life, and I know a lot of diehard Superman fans didn't really like it, and it just got mixed reviews. Well, I was one of the ones that loved it. There's some really stupid scenes in it, like, there's that scene towards the end where that, girl says that Superman's hot. She's supposed to be in the military, and it just kind of really sounded kind of dumb. And there's a few scenes in the movie that are just kind of stupid, but overall, I really loved the film. And I actually saw it twice in theaters, and I just think it's a great film. I understand why some people don't like it, but like I said, it's one of my favorite films of the year. So, every film can't make every single person happy. So, number 8 is Pacific Rim. Wow, this is a movie that I waited so long to see, and I saw it, I was not let down. Awesome effects, over the top CGI and stuff, but it really worked within the film. I always heard a lot of things about, people saying they were disappointed by it because of lack of story and lack of characters. I didn't actually see that argument at all because I thought it had a great little story and the characters were engaging, and I understood the characters, and they weren't stupid like some people said they were. And I don't know, I just didn't understand some of the criticisms for the movie. But for the most part, I know everybody liked it. Like, most people I know liked it, and I definitely did. I went out and bought it on Blu-ray, and one of my favorite films of the year. And I'm a huge fan of that genre anyways, and I cannot wait for the new Godzilla film to come out. Alright, number 7 is The Hobbit. Number 2, The Desolation of Smaug. This movie was amazing. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a huge Hobbit fan. I love this film so much. I liked it better than the first one. I even loved the first one. Some people didn't like it as much. I loved every second of it. I loved every second of this. Just anything to do with Middle Earth, I'm your guy. I'm so into that stuff. And so, definitely a huge Tolkien fan and a huge fan of the second Hobbit film. And I can't wait for part 3. Alright, now we're on to number 6. Star Trek Into Darkness. This film, I look forward to it for a long time because I've been a Trekkie my entire life, pretty much. And I love J.J. Abrams' take on Star Trek, and I think he's done a great job with the franchise. And this movie definitely just blew me away. It was so much darker than the first film, and the acting was even more superior, with Benedict Cumberbatch joining the cast with his awesome, I don't want to give away who he plays, but with his awesome villainous role. And I've been a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch since he became an actor. I remember I was a fan of him before he actually became popular doing like Sherlock and stuff. So I've followed him for quite a while, and he was an amazing villain, and I loved everything about this film. And plus, I always forget his name, but what's his name from RoboCop? What was his name? I always forget it, but who cares? Awesome actor, just top of the line acting from everybody in the writing. It was just a really good film. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, Three, four, five. Number 5 is The World's End. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Martin Freeman, and it's Edgar Wright's third film, and it's in his trilogy of films that include Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and this film. And this one was just a really funny film, and it was really hilarious in how it involved aliens, taking over the world and beer and all this stuff. Just loved it. I laughed out loud the entire movie, and it had a little bit of heart to it too. And I just really enjoyed it, and I recommend it to you guys who like those kind of films. So yeah, World's End. I'm sure most of you who've seen it agree with me. Number 4. This is my number 4 favorite film of the year. Prisoners. Wow. Now this is a movie I saw, and literally from the first second I was addicted to it and on the edge of my seat. Hugh Jackman plays a father whose daughter is kidnapped, along with Terrence Howard, whose daughter is kidnapped as well. They're friends and they're having Thanksgiving dinner and they're kidnapped. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a detective who is trying to investigate and find out who took the daughters. It turns into this complex story and who really did this, and Hugh Jackman thinks he's found the guy who did it, and basically it's what would you do in that kind of situation. And it's just, I don't really want to spoil anything for anybody, but basically it's a parallel of Hugh Jackman dealing with and trying to do a little investigating of his own, paralleled with Jake Gyllenhaal's investigating. And both characters are so flawed that it makes the movie really interesting and believable, because these characters are just so real. And Hugh Jackman gives what I believe to be his best performance, and one of the best performances of the year. And I think that Jake Gyllenhaal also gave one of his best performances and one of the best performances of the year. It was just amazing. Number 3, sorry, I'm out of breath because I'm talking so much, but number 3 is Place Beyond the Pines. This movie was my number 1 for a long time, and it was just a fascinating, well done movie. It's told in 3 acts. One is about Ryan Gosling's character, who is trying to, support his son. I guess I'm trying to be spoiler free with all this. Trying to, making his way through life, trying to support his son. The second act is about Bradley Cooper's character, who is a police officer who is also trying to, do what's right in certain situations, and how he's dealing with certain things. And this is a terrible explanation, but I'm trying to not be. Basically, it's about each of the characters in the film they have actions that has consequences, and basically you're following these characters' actions throughout, I think 15 years of their lives and the consequences of their actions. And that's pretty much it. All I'm gonna say. I don't want to give too much more away, but see this movie. It is a really powerful, emotional experience too, and it's definitely one of the best films of the year in my opinion too. As well, it definitely is my 3rd favorite. All right, number 2 is Wolf of Wall Street. This is Martin Scorsese's adrenaline-filled, drug-induced, crazy film about Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who is he's in the Wall Street, and even though in the film he never actually he doesn't really set up a company on Wall Street, but it's about he's a stockbroker, and he just starts scamming people, and it's kind of brilliant in the way that he thinks. And you're following this guy. He's insane. He's crazy. He's not really likable, especially towards the end. And you just see what his obsession with money, drugs, and sex does to his life. It's definitely, I'd say, Martin Scorsese's craziest film, with how it shows excess and how money is just bad for so many reasons in that kind of capacity and that way of getting it. It was definitely a really, really fun but incredibly insane movie. It's I don't know, I left and I feel like, man, that is a movie experience. I really felt a part of whatever, and that's what was kind of scary about it, is because you're doing, this guy is a true, like, it's a true story, and you're on the ride to see what this guy did to people. And since Martin Scorsese does not hold back with showing some of the stuff this guy did, you feel like you're in there with him during this wild ride, and you're like, gosh, this guy's real, and this guy really did this to people. He's insane. I would say it's a mixture between Casino, Goodfellas, and Scarface, with the way the story's told, but then with some of the character. I mean, sometimes he really makes Tony Montana look like Barney or the Santa Claus or something. Like, that's how evil he can be and how crazy he gets. I mean, it's insane. And it's just a brilliant film. Really, graphic in its portrayal of, somebody going through the party and drug scene and stuff like that. But it didn't sugarcoat anything. It really shows the negative effects of all that stuff, which I thought was great. And that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. And it was just a brilliantly told story. Jonah Hill gives a great performance. Matthew McConaughey is awesome in it. And it was just a really good film. And I know for a fact it will not be for everybody, but I really enjoyed it, considering Martin Scorsese is pretty much my favorite director. So, yeah. My number one film, American Hustle. See, this was a really hard list to make because I loved all these films. And I didn't think I was actually going to like American Hustle as much as I did. I mean, I knew I was going to like it, but was it going to beat out Place Beyond the Pines or Wolf of Wall Street? Well, considering that, Silver Linings Playbook was my favorite film of last year because of the acting, the storytelling, the personal connection I had with the characters, David O. Russell's brilliant direction. I knew I was going to go into something special with this film. What I got with this film was fun, entertainment, thrills, comedy, all emotions that you could think of. You had experiencing this movie. It was funny. It was just a really good movie. The cinematography, the grittiness of the 70s, the music. It was just a brilliant film. And, I knew I was going to like it, but it ended up being the most entertaining film of the year for me. And that's why it was my favorite. Sure, do I think, maybe Place Beyond the Pines or Wolf of Wall Street or even Prisoners is a better film? Sure. But the thing is, this one entertained me the most. The acting in it was top-notch. Bradley Cooper, continues to show me that, continues to prove to me that he's an awesome actor. He's one of my favorite actors now. He's been one of my favorite actors for a while. And, Christian Bale knocks out of the ballpark. He is truly amazing in what he can do with his acting. Amy Adams blows it out of the water. Jennifer Lawrence is amazing in this film. Jeremy Renner is really good in this film. It's just an overall amazing movie. And Robert De Niro actually makes an appearance in the film too, which was a huge plus for me because he's my favorite actor. And so I was like, whoa, it's De Niro. And I think it's even an uncredited thing. But he has a pretty big part in the movie, even though he's not in a lot of it at all. But it's just a really, really fun and entertaining movie. I recommend it to anybody who loves film because it is so throwback to 70s cinema and just how it was in the 70s. The music it was amazing too. But anything David O. Russell does, he's like another Wes Anderson for me. His movies are they're so poetic in a way, and they're so full of that magical sense, sense that, cinema is magic, I guess you could say. And, Martin Scorsese and all them, they do it for me in that way too, but there's something magical and poetic about his way of filmmaking, and you can feel the love in his making of movies. It's really hard to explain, but I get that every time I see, any of his movies. I didn't really used to be a David O. Russell fan. In fact, sometimes I couldn't stand him because of all his, he always had a lot of things said about him in the press about how he was and stuff. But I really feel like over the last 5 years or 6 years, he has started making even better films to where each of his movies now are just completely amazing. And they blow everything out of the park. And I just think that, I mean, it's just crazy that I used to not really like the guy just because of what I heard about him, having an attitude, being hard to work with, to really loving his films and really liking him too. Like, he is an awesome director, and hearing what the cast and the crew say about him now, I mean, it's brilliant, what he can do with a camera. And, you know, now I'm a lifelong David O. Russell fan. And so, yeah, so he's a great filmmaker, and I loved American Hustle. I hope you guys enjoyed the films on my list. I hope you go out and see the ones you haven't. There's still plenty that I loved and saw. Like, I loved Oz the Great and Powerful. I know not everybody liked that, but I saw them multiple times. I thought it was really entertaining. I really loved Only God Forgives. I really loved The Evil Dead. I loved The Great Gatsby. And there's a few that I really want to see that I just haven't been able to see yet. Nebraska is one of them. The Great Beauty is one of them. There's plenty more films that I really wanted to see this past year. I just couldn't get around to it. So I definitely wanted to try to make this list as complete as possible with including all the films, by taking all the films I saw and trying to narrow it down into a top 10. So anyways, guys, let me know what your top 10 favorite films of the year was down below. And yeah, anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.